Hey there, my name's Pete and I like pictures. In case you're wondering, this is the Buster Keaton planking challenge initiated by my friend Rob Mill24 on Tumblr, and it's pretty hard. So no more rambling. In this video, in this Lightroom Quicktip, it's all about the curves tool in Lightroom, and I better start. Bye bye. So what is the tone curve? Where do we find the tone curve in Lightroom? We find it, of course, in the Develop module, and it is the second tab, the one under the Basic tab. We can open it by clicking that little triangle on the right. And in case your tone curve tool looks differently than mine, then it is because the tone curve has two different modes, and we can switch between them by clicking that square icon on the bottom right. So this is the point curve editor, and now we switch back to I think that is even the default in Lightroom. To keep things a bit more easy to explain, I will switch to the point curve editor. What is the tone curve? So if you look closely, you see that little, well, let's call it mountain, which represents the brightness values in your photo from left, pure black, to white on the far right. So we see in here, this is kind of a histogram, or it is the histogram. It is basically the same thing as on top. On top, you see the different color channels here. When in RGB mode, we're talking about the other ones in a minute, we see the brightness values. So we see there are a lot of dark parts in this photo and not so many bright parts. So what this curve does, what this diagonal does, is on the far left, bottom far left, we have pure blacks. And you can imagine the same axis here on the y-axis. So on the bottom of the y-axis, there's also pure blacks. So that point here, pure black, is mapped to pure black. And on the x-axis, on the far right, we have pure white, which is mapped to pure white on the y-axis. And the midpoint here, the mid-tone values, they are mapped to the mid-tone values. So the picture is the same. The brightness values are the same. Black is black, white is white, and mid-tone brightness is a mid-tone brightness. And that's a cool thing because we can change that. We can simply bring down the whites, for example, by pulling that point down. And again, this only works here in the point curve editor. And you see black is still black, but white is a darker tone. And automatically the midtone also gets darker. The great thing about the tone curve is we can simply add a point here by clicking it and pulling that back up. And you see all these brightness values, more or less, we can also add a point here, so really make it linear again. All these brightness values in the darker parts of the photo until the midpoint, they will stay the same, and only the brighter parts will change, will be darker. And that is the really, really powerful thing of the tone curve. Comparatively simple. So I'll switch back, go back to the default with a linear curve. And we can do the same. Let's just add a point here. So fix that here and fix that here. Click in the middle and bring the midtones down. So you see the bright parts in the photo, they will stay bright. The dark parts, they will stay dark. And only the middle parts will get darker, or I can pull them up. Very, very cool, very, very, let's say, even intuitive way of changing the brightness in a photo as soon as you understood how this thing works. I'll switch back to the linear curve. You can even invert a photo. Very simple, also only possible in the point curve editor. You can drag the black point up so that black becomes white, right? Here, white, black and white. And you bring the white point down so white becomes black. You can invert that photo. But you can do, of course, a lot of interesting stuff in that. Clicking here, bring that up, click here, bring that down. You can create some very, very abstract photos with the tone curve. So if you like stuff like that, for me it's a bit too much. So back to the linear. Down there on the bottom left, you see the point curve. It is set to linear, and we have, at least by default, 2 different presets for medium contrast. You see the blacks or the dark parts are brought down a bit, and the brighter parts are brought up a bit, and the midpoint was pinned to the middle. So that adds a bit of contrast to the photo, and there's even the strong contrast. And now we'll take a look at the default view. This is only for brightness and contrast changes. And you see this is always the area that we change with the different sliders. It's a bit like in the basic tab, highlights, shadows, whites, blacks. We have that here, the highlights. This is this area, so we can bring them down or bring them up. Double clicking always resets them. This is the lights. Bring them up, bring them down. The darks, bring them down, bring them up. The shadows, bring them down, bring them up. And you can also change the area. You see, I'll move that here. So you see that area is just this area that we changed. Comes in very, very handy if you want to do like really detailed brightness. Let's call them operations. I hope this short little introduction into the curves tool helped a bit, but there is way more to it because the curves tool not only helps with brightness and contrast operations, it is also sort of the, let's call it Swiss knife of tools when we're talking about color. And that is what we'll be talking about in the next video. So bye-bye, till next time. If you like that video, then give it a thumbs up, and of course you can always subscribe to this channel.